So welcome to some games I've been playing recently. Now it's a beautiful summer outside, I've been enjoying it, but I've also been playing some video games. Isn't that funny? We close the blinds a little bit and play some games even in the middle of summer because why not? That's a vacation into itself at times. So let me know what you've been playing down below. Give some other people some ideas of some great games to try out. Now to begin with, okay. It happened to me. I made an entire episode about it, a review to begin with, about Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. Now, I went in there going, you know what, I'm going to play it for a little bit, and then I'll get out. It'll be it for me. No, the addiction continues, and I've been playing a lot more of it. I've got my first character nearly to level 20, and I've been playing the crap out of it, and I've been enjoying it, and every single day, I turn it on and I do my daily quests, I do my weekly quests. I'm always doing quests and I'm like, wow, this is a bit of an addiction. And like it used to be for me. And it's funny, I was going away with Kim for a couple of weeks and I'm like, hey, can I get the Xbox in the truck as well to go? And it wouldn't fit because I was like, I gotta play it. I gotta play it for at least an hour because it's so much fun. And I'm like, no. So hey, when I first came back, that's the first thing I did was turn that on. And I want to say with Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, it was in Phantasy Star Online 2 as well, it still is there. There's a terrible, terrible addiction. And I want to talk about it for a second. It's how Sega makes the money on a free game. And I've really kind of been getting into it. Not too crazy, but a little bit. I've been whetting my appetite with this. Scratch tickets. Oh my god. So for anybody who doesn't know, you can buy scratch tickets in the game and they will give you brand new items, brand new things to add to your character. And you can do costumes, cosmetics, weapon cosmetics, all that kinds of stuff. You can do all of that. And so you buy a ticket, it comes down, it's all flashy, and boom, you got an item and it's random. Completely random. You don't know what you're gonna get. And you get it, sometimes you get an item, you're like, okay, that's okay. Then all of a sudden you get a really awesome item and you're like, oh my god. And then you can go and take those items and sell them in the store. So there's a lot of addiction there, and there's something that happens with the gambling side of yourself. And I'm not a gambler. So I started to play these scratch tickets and I started going, oh, this is a lot of fun. Then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, you can really spend a lot of real money on these tickets. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to stop right now. And I stopped myself before I even thought about getting in deep. But that's the addiction for a lot of people in this game. And Sega, that's how they make their money, of people getting into the gambling addiction, trying to get the best gear and all the best stuff for their characters and selling the stuff and going into the economy of the game. That is where it is at. And I'll say this much about Phantasy Star New Genesis is that I like it, and I said in my review, there just needs to be more to do. I feel like I've really done the world over and over and over and over again, and I really like that. I just would like some new things to do. Maybe another boss. I'm not asking for too much stuff. Maybe just another tower or something, just something brand new. So there's some updates coming, so I'll probably get my fix there. Now, as I say, me and Kim have been away, and Kim stayed up for a few more days. I came back because I had some things to take care of in Vancouver here, and I had an extra free day. And so I called up Rob. I'm like, dude, do you want to hang out? Like the olden days, just me and you. And he's, yeah, absolutely. So we had a really interesting, fun night where we hung out for the entire day, and then we're like, what are we going to do? What game are we going to play? What movie are we going to watch? We were trying to negotiate that. And we did something really, really smart. And I'm so thankful that we did this. We picked one game to play, to finish, that we've always wanted to go through since we were younger kids. And that game was on the NES, and that is Willow. Right here, I know, Willow from 1988-89. My god, the movie, Mad Mardigan. Does anybody remember this game in particular? The movie is, me and Rob agree, the movie is good and it's bad, right? It's kind of, but it's a product of the time. and we really are nostalgic about Willow. We're really crazy about Willow. I don't know what it is. It kind of takes us back to our youth and that time. And one of the games that our friend Andrew finished was Willow. And I watched him play it for quite a bit of time. And over the years, it's been nearly 30 plus years, I'm like, I want to play through Willow. I mean, Rob have talked about it over the years. You know, we could have really wasted this night by playing a couple of rounds of a fighting game, watching a movie, and it would have been a good night, but it became a legendary night because we sat down, we're like, okay, let's do this. 7 hours it took us to get through this game. Rob was the one playing it. I was sitting there with the strategy guides, going, okay, we gotta go this way, we gotta go this way. And I'll say this much, we laughed for 7 hours straight about some of the stupid things you have to do in this game and how hard it was at times and so ridiculous. And oh my God, we gotta go all the way back and do this. And then I remember getting to the final, what's her name? Babmorda? Getting to her or whatever, and the queen. And we go like, okay, we're good. And I read in the strategy guide I'm reading, it goes, no, you need another 2 levels. And I'm like, what? We need 2 more levels? So we had to go back to this riverbank and fight all these crabs. And I'm like, oh my God. And that took another like 30, 40 minutes on top of that. We finished about 1 in the morning. And one thing I'll say that we did, it was really smart as well. Usually on our get-togethers, we drink a bunch late at night and have a bit of fun that way. We decided not to do that. We decided, no, we'll just make it about the game. And I tell you this much, I woke up in the morning, I came into the other room where Rob was sleeping, and I was like, hey man, how you doing? And I think it's the first time in 20 plus years of us hanging out, 25 years, where we hung out for a night and we weren't hung over the next day. And I'm like, dude, we finished Willow. And it was this huge sense of accomplishment from our youth. So I'm telling you, if you're getting together with a friend that you used to play video games with or something, and you're like, let's not waste the time, pick one game and go all the way through it. It's way more fulfilling that way than just kind of wasting it on a couple of things here and there. And super happy we did Willow. What a real childhood memory, finally finished. Now, the next game was a free game on Game Pass on the Xbox, and I'm like, cool. I'm kind of interested in this game. I've never played any of them, and that is the Microsoft Flight Simulator. I thought, let's do this. So I started downloading it. It's like 100 gigs. I'm like, I had to empty the hard drive a little bit, and then I finally fill it up with this game, and I'm like, here we go. Let's get into this. And I get the plane. I start flying, and I'm like, well, it looks kind of beautiful. It's nice, kind of. It's not. It doesn't blow me away. Like, it's nice, and I'm just kind of floating and flying, and I'm just like, listen. This is for, flight experts, people who really enjoy a flight simulator. This is not for me. I'm the first to say that. I didn't realize that. I was kind of going in, I just want to have an arcade game, kind of fly around, and it's not that style of game. All of a sudden, I'm just like doing all these things, I'm getting all these warnings in the plane, and it's going, stall, and I'm like, what's going on? And I just, all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, let's go pick another, because it's flying like a Cessna. I'm like, let's go pick a jet or something like that. And I go in, and then all of a sudden I realize the whole thing is like a pay-to-play scenario. Yeah, you can play the main game for free on Game Pass. You have to pay for any of the planes or anything like that, or helicopters or whatever the heck's in the game. And I'm like, you have to pay for all this stuff? I thought this was on Game Pass. I thought this was free. I thought I could just go in and have access to everything. No. They want to nickel and dime you on that stuff, and I was like, it really deflated me. I was like, I really just want to come in, pick a couple of different planes and fly around and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, I don't think it's my style of game. I was bored. I was really, really bored after like not even a couple of minutes. I'm like, okay, this is semi-okay. I'm like, and some of the locales are kind of beautiful for sure, but and I do applaud the effort put into the game. I'm not taking away from that. It's just not my style of thing. Now, the next game up for me is a game I have not played yet. I picked it up. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. What do you guys think about this game so far? The remaster on the Switch. I'm just going to say something here. I originally bought it back on the Wii. This version of it right here with a gold emote plus. Does anybody remember that? I played the game, and I'm gonna be flat out honest. It is my least favorite Zelda game of all time. I hated having to do the Wiimotes to do actions and stuff like that. I thought it was just kind of took me out of it. And the setting was okay. The graphics on the Wii were okay. Everything was just kind of average for me. And it was one of the Zelda games I never finished. Go figure. It was just the one I couldn't get into. And I tried. I really, really tried. Wind Waker, I loved. And then when it came to this, it was like, Twilight Princess, I love. Came to this, I was like, I could never get into it. It's one of those things. So I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give it a try. I know there's new control features in the game. I haven't tried any of it out yet. So I'll probably talk about that in games I've been playing recently in the future. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm really curious about how it's going to be. The graphics are updated now. And I think that was a thing. I mean, with the Wii, I was like, standard definition at the time. I was like, come on, man. Like, come on. It was just, that's one of the things that will always bug me about the Wii. I mean, there was a lot of fun on there to be had, but the standard definition graphics were like, come on. It's the era of high definition. Sometimes Nintendo is always just a little bit behind, right? And so it'll be fun to play this and see how they've updated everything. So yeah, those are some games I've been playing. I just want to say that Kim is playing some games right now that are a lot of fun, and we're going to talk about in the future that it's a completion thing that Kim's doing right now, and I'll let her talk about that for sure. So what have you guys been playing? Let me know down below. So anyways, guys, until next time.